Well, hey everyone. So things are a little bit different this week. At The Crossing, we are in a series called At the Movies. At the Movies is this special thing we do every August where if you come on campus, we watch part of a popular movie and then one of the pastors talks about what are the biblical themes that we see in it? What does it teach us about our lives? Well, here on YouTube, we cannot show you said movie, but we can talk about that movie and give you some questions to think about, and maybe you can even create your own At the Movies at your house. So, hello, hi, my name is Nicole.
And I'm James, and this is one of my favorite series that we do. I think it's so much fun. As someone who loves going to the movies, this is gold to me.
Yeah, me too. And so we're just going to talk about the movie that we're showing this Sunday. It is actually the movie Inside Out. And first we'll talk about why we chose this movie. We'll talk about some of the biblical themes that it helps us understand even better. And then we'll just talk about a couple of our favorite scenes and why they're our favorite scenes. So, Inside Out. Why do we show people this movie? Why are we talking about it?
No, Inside Out, first of all, is just a fantastic movie all the way around. But I really love what this movie does is give an example of how to handle emotions. Being a student pastor, sometimes I'm how kids are I feel all of these things, but I just don't have the words on how to describe what I'm feeling. So I think what Inside Out does a really great job is teaching us what these emotions are, what's happening maybe inside of our brains when we're feeling all of these things. But I really love the character and the dichotomy between joy and sadness. I think that's such a core part of this movie and how they interact with each other and how we are creating these memories in our mind.
I love that. I also really love just the visual. It helps me picture the way that my mind works, of having each of these little things going on in my head, that there is joy and sadness and anger, and they're separate, but they're actually meant to work together. And I just like that visual a lot. It helps me.
Yes.
So we picked this movie because it really does help us look at ourselves in a new way, and it helps us understand some of the verses in the Bible that talk about things like searching our heart. So one of the ones that we thought about is Psalm 139, which is, "You created my inmost being, and you knit me together in my mother's womb. Search me, God, and know my heart. Test me and know my anxious thoughts. See if there is any offensive way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting." And this movie really helps me do that in a new way.
Yeah.
I don't know what you think, but I just feel like this verse, I understood what it meant to try to search how I'm actually feeling.
Yeah.
But Inside Out gave me a way to picture it and ask myself different questions. I don't know. How about you?
Yeah, I think for me, what this movie really helped me, personally, was really begin to see my emotions. And I really love I know it sounds kind of lame, but even the colors of it all helps me understand okay, am I feeling red hot with anger? And that helps me understand that, or green with disgust. And I think that really helped me understand my emotions. Kind of growing up in a household where emotions weren't always discussed or maybe talked about, I sometimes didn't fully understand what I was feeling. So yeah, when I would read verses like this one, search me, oh God, I'm search me for what? I just feel it's all just the same and there's really nothing going on. But then I think this movie really helped me see okay, wait, there are things happening. Maybe there's some anger that I haven't addressed in a while. Maybe I'm feeling some sadness that I haven't really looked at, and maybe I have been avoiding that in my life, which kind of is on theme with this movie.
Yeah.
And I think that's helped me kind of see the different ways that my heart is moving and how I can come to God with these different things.
Man, that's good. I think one of the things that I now take every day in my life is the idea of core memories.
Yes.
I think Inside Out invented that in my life, at least, that there are these core memories in my life, and they don't have to be one or the other. So when we talk about favorite scenes, I will tell you my favorite scene is where the first combined core memory comes out.
Yeah.
But that idea that I can look back on something and I can initially think of it as really sad.
Yeah.
But if I look at it again, I might be able to see it with the joy too.
Yes.
And even anger sometimes that I was trying to avoid for whatever reason. And so I really love, that has been a tool for me since seeing this movie of, okay, what are my core memories?
Yes.
And how do I make them more complete and complex versus just looking back and thinking only fear or only sadness. So that I'm taking every day from here on out from this movie.
No, that's so good. Because, yeah, I think we do have all these memories that we carry with us, and we can kind of look at them through just one lens. So I thought it was really cool of just seeing the blending of how there can be just anger, sadness, fear, disgust, joy in all of these different situations. And maybe that even changes in seasons of life or as we get older and mature. So I love that so much.
It's really good. And one other verse that I don't know, I think about a lot with this movie is it's Psalm 34:18. It says, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit." This movie's emotional.
So emotional.
I'm going to admit that I have not seen the second one because I've heard it's so sad and I'm nervous about watching it. And so this movie's heavy.
Yes.
Because you've got Riley, the character, who's really dealing with serious things in her life for the first time, and I sometimes want to avoid doing that.
Yes.
And so I'm really grateful for movies that have helped me process stuff that I didn't want to.
Yes. No, this movie does carry a lot of emotion. I think the first time I saw it, I cried in the theaters.
Yeah.
I was a mess because it was just so heavy for me. As someone like that has kind of struggled with putting words to my emotions, this like really hit home for me. And I think that verse was talking about God being close to the brokenhearted. It was just such a powerful reminder that, I can feel these emotions and God's still there with me. And he's still right next to me. And I can still come to God both in my joyful seasons, in my sad seasons, in my seasons where I have no idea what's going on and I'm so afraid of everything. And God's there with me.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, let's talk about favorite scenes.
Oh man, favorite scenes.
So I really do like meeting everybody. I think that's super fun and just kind of changed my brain forever.
Yes.
But then really my favorite scene is, so spoiler, Riley has decided to run away.
Yes.
And then Joy steps aside and lets sadness come and do what sadness can do, which is help us miss things sometimes.
Yeah.
And so then Riley realizes she misses her parents and she runs back home. And when she gets home, she starts to remember everything. But now she makes a new core memory that has a combination of joy and sadness.
Oh, it's so good.
And it's so good. And so I really try to use that in my life regularly when I'm like, when you can't stop rolling a memory over and over and over and over again in your mind, like a little marble core memory.
A little marble, yeah.
And I'm like, okay. So I can't make it stop rolling around in my mind, but maybe I can make it more complex.
Yes.
So how can I look at the other emotions that are going on in that moment? So even if the main thing I feel is embarrassed or the main thing I feel is sadness, like, okay, but what else was there?
Yeah.
Like, God was close to you. Okay, in what ways do you feel joy even in that moment or right before or after? And just, I can't always make the thoughts stop, but I can make them more complex and healthy and whole. And so that scene, I love. That has stayed with me. What's your favorite scene?
Oh, my favorite scene. Well, there's two things that I love. I love when they keep sending up the gum commercial up to headquarters. Yes. I think that's hilarious because that's how my brain works. I don't know about you, but like when I see like a jingle or hear something from like a TV commercial, it sticks with me forever. So like that gets me every time.
I love that.
But I think the scene that really sticks with me is when Bing Bong and Joy are kind of like in this place called like the Forgotten Place. Oof. And it's all dark. And like in that moment, you're almost like, oh, like, she's, like, forgetting how to be joyful, which is, like, it's super heavy. And I remember, like, I'm watching this movie with kids, obviously. Like, I'm an adult, but I'm here, like, crying. And these kids are like, oh, bright colors. But I'm, like, so emotional. I'm like, oh, my gosh, like, she doesn't know how to, like, Riley's, like, forgetting joy right now. And, like, it comes to this point where they, like, rally together, Bing Bong and Joy, and Bing Bong makes this sacrifice, and of course, like, Joy makes it, and Bing Bong, of course, says the line, like, take her to the moon for me, and completely just disappears. And I don't know how you don't just break down crying at that point, but I think for me at that point, it's just like, yeah, like, sometimes when we neglect certain emotions, like, it can allow things to kind of bubble up, and different things feel like they're disappearing in our life. And I think very naturally that happens to us, but then we can always remember that, wait, is God here? How else is this emotion working around me? And like, how can I look at it from this different angle?
So you work with students. I'm just thinking about, like, Riley is kind of the age of when students start being NTC students.
Yes.
So how often do you watch and like interact with students as they step out of childhood into this whole new world where they are kind of losing joy sometimes? And how do you talk to them about that? How does that work?
Yeah, I think that's so good. I think One thing I noticed is a lot of kids just don't know. Like, what am I even feeling? And I think one thing I've had to tell kids over and over again is that it's okay to feel. And it's okay to just let the emotions come up. Because I think for so long they're told like not to, and they don't even know how to identify it. And I remember one time we were actually talking about like feelings and emotions, and I said something along the lines of like, hey, it's okay to feel sad, and it's okay to cry. And there was a student in front of me, and she just full on just started crying right there. And she told me afterwards, well, no one's ever told me I could just cry. No one ever told me that I could have these emotions. And I think a lot of students, they are feeling all the things, but they just haven't been taught yet, how do I process it? How do I feel it all? How can I begin to see the joy in sadness? How can I be angry, but also sad at the same time? And so with students, we're trying to really teach them, hey, how can you process all of these things together and see how God is using them, and how this core memory that could be positive or negative is a part of you and your story, and how God can still redeem that and use that.
I love that so much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, it's okay to feel emotions. It really is. One of my favorite things that I learned this year was that, you know, if you try to fight the emotion and like tamp it down, it doesn't have anywhere to go, and so it actually lasts a lot longer than if you were to just sit still and breathe somewhere safe for like 2 minutes. It'll pass. Like, it's just a cycle of like energy that needs to move through.
Yeah.
So you don't feed it. Like, you don't keep feeding yourself whatever the thoughts are that started it.
Yeah.
You just sit and breathe and basically meditate for 2 minutes and let the emotion move through you. And you really are allowed to do that. And that really is okay. I think that's one of the gifts of this movie.
Yes.
So for you guys, one of the gifts you can give yourself is that when you watch movies, you actually think about, like, what are my favorite scenes in this movie? What are the things I know about God or about the Bible that actually this story is helping me understand in a different way? And what are the themes and ideas that these filmmakers are trying to help me process? Because movies take years and years to get made. Somebody spent a lot of work trying to create something that would move us.
Yes.
And so one of the things we can do is really think about them in a more critical way, and it helps us understand life and the Bible and everything a little bit better. So thank you for joining us on our first installment. We get to do this every week in August. We'll be talking about the movie that we're showing on Sunday. We'll be talking about, all right, why did we pick this movie? And what are the biblical themes that it helps us understand? And then just a little bit about our favorite scenes and what it taught us. Thanks so much for joining us this week, and we'll see you soon. Bye.